My name is Burnell Cotlon, and we're coming back with the Produce Moms. And thank you again for your hard work and also from having us here.
Welcome to the Produce Moms. This is the podcast where I talk to various people who've made an impact on the fruit and vegetable community. There are so many stories to share that will change the way you look at fresh produce. We are so excited. We are welcoming Burnell Cotlon and Keisha Cotlon to the show today. They are coming to us from New Orleans, Louisiana. And I mean, gosh, what a great town. I mean, so much culture there. And we're going to dive into that culture with both of these individuals. Their store has become a lot of the culture of New Orleans. I mean, it's really amazing as we are going to learn more about Burnell's Lower Ninth Ward Market. It opened in 2014, and I'm not here to tell their story. They're here with us. So Keisha, we'll start with you. You're actually joining us from the store today.
Yes, ma'am. How are you?
It's great to be here. Thank you. So Keisha, tell us a little bit about what you're doing today. What's happening right now at the Lower Ninth Ward Market?
Right now, we actually just finished a nice breakfast rush. Got the kids off to school. We have construction workers that still do breakfast through lunch. And probably in about 45 minutes, we'll have a nice lunch rush, providing whatever they need to eat or whatnot.
And Burnell, you're also in the field, coming to us from your car because Keisha sent you out on an errand to get supplies.
Which she does that a lot. My name is Burnell Cotlon. I'm a veteran. For those that don't know, we have the first and only grocery store in our community since Hurricane Katrina. That's back in 2005. The Lower Ninth Ward, unfortunately, is a food desert. We have the only store there. Um, Keisha had supported me with my idea of opening up the grocery store. I wouldn't trade Keisha in for nothing in the world. When everybody else told me, no, don't do it. Uh, it was a no-brainer to me. It was a no-brainer to me. And we've been going strong ever since. I'm on my way back to the store right now. I am out in the field. We have, unfortunately, quite a few people in the Lower Ninth Ward that don't have transportation. So not only do I pick up the supplies, we also do deliveries. Presently, I'm picking up supplies, headed back to the store now as we speak.
Well, that's amazing. You not only are this great institution for folks in the Lower Ninth Ward, and we'll get to how you have diversified from being, a grocer or a market to all of the different services that you offer to folks. Keisha, why don't we start there with that? I mean, you mentioned that you help the kids get off to school. I'm assuming that you mean all the kids of the Lower Ninth Ward, not just, your own if you are a mother.
Yeah, I was actually talking about the kids in the neighborhood as well. They come by when he opens up early morning, and they get their snacks for the day because some of them don't, have the money to eat at school, so they get their snacks for the day. If they need it, they can bring it back or whatever, and just kind of get them on their way. If they want hot grits or a sandwich or something, our cook is here early in the morning with my husband just to kind of see that they get what they need and just to keep going.
Keisha, that's amazing. I mean, to think about how the children in your entire neighborhood can count on you. I know from reading up on what you are doing in New Orleans that your community, the Lower Ninth Ward, their access to services is really limited right now. I mean, if someone wants to go to the grocery store, for instance, it's a three bus ride trip one way, correct?
Yes, if you have to take 3 buses here from the Lower Ninth Ward into the next city, or what they call parishes here, and that's Chalmette. Then you have to literally take those 3 buses back, carrying all of that back home. And some people don't have cars, so it's like walking. Then you have to get off the bus here and walk another distance. And some of these people have kids, they're elderly, and it's kind of hard for them having to catch 3 buses that far and to come back the same way, carrying everything.
That had to have been an inspiration in expanding the Lower Ninth Ward Market to offering all of the different services that you have today. You have Wi-Fi, laundromat, barbershop, Burnell, why don't you explain a little bit as to why you were passionate about not just opening the market, but making sure that all of these critical services were available?
Um, let's go back to the very beginning. The Lower Ninth Ward always has been a poor part of New Orleans, and Katrina made it much, much worse. We're not even going to start talking about COVID-19. Um, there's nothing else back there. There's nothing else back there in the Lower Ninth Ward. If you want to do anything from get your hair cut to get something to eat, you actually have to get on 3 buses just to get to the next, business. This is United States of America. To me, that was an undue hardship. I was in the military for 13 years. I've seen third world countries, and New Orleans shouldn't be like this. Nowhere in the United States should be like this. So my purpose, like I was saying earlier, is service. And so I decided to do something about it. We utilize our entire life savings to do this. And this is why I thank God for Keisha every day, because she could have told me no. The average woman would have said, oh, no, you're crazy. But she supported me. So we opened up the barbershop first. That's a lot of people don't notice. They thought the grocery store was first. But the actual first business was the first barbershop, so we can generate some type of revenue, because we end up utilizing every dime out of our savings. After we did the barbershop, we started with a little bitty small grocery store window. We served everything out this little bitty small window for about maybe 3.5, 4 years, and we saved every dime. Imagine going shopping at a window. Milk, eggs, bread, cheese, you name it, it went out this window. And we had to save up our money for years before we finally had enough money to open up the front doors of the grocery store. A lot of people were not aware of that little bitty window. If you ever get a chance to come to New Orleans or Google the building, you'll see the window that I'm talking about. And the lines to be wrapped around the block for people standing at that window trying to get groceries. Um, it was hard, and believe it or not, today it's still pretty hard, because it's still the only business in our part of town. Um, how the next business got started, there's this gentleman used to come to my store, and he only bought 2 items, just 2 items, which was very odd. Here's the 2 items that he always bought. He always bought laundry detergent and a Coca-Cola. That's it, nothing else. So I ended up the following week I went outside to introduce myself to him, and turned to find out he was on a bicycle, and he had a big old huge garbage bag. And I said, why you only buy 2 things? I said, we have a lot of other things. He said, I can't balance all this on my bike. He told me to come here, and he opened up the garbage bag. Inside that garbage bag was his clothes and his daughter's dirty clothes. In order to get to the lower ninth ward, you have to go over this big huge bridge, the industrial canal. He used to ride his bicycle over that bridge looking for a laundromat. And to be totally honest with you, I actually came in the store and I cried, because Keisha and I have a washing machine and dryer at our home. This guy didn't. So the following week, I shook his hand. I said, I don't know how, I don't know when, I'm gonna get your laundry room in this building. And the following week after that, I get a call from the Ellen DeGeneres show. Ellen DeGeneres flew into Hollywood, put me on her show, and donated the wash machines and dryers. Now today we have the first and only laundromat in this building, and it's it's phenomenal being able to service our community on a level like this.
Yeah, it's fantastic to watch what's, as we think about the evolution of what you both are doing and the way you've stayed committed to your hometown. I know, Burnell, you're a New Orleans native. Keisha, you as well?
I am from Georgia.
From Georgia?
She's a
All right,
country
Georgia
girl,
Bulldogs fan?
big old country girl.
I love it.
Look, we fight in our house all the time. I'm a New Orleans Saints diehard fan, and she likes the Atlanta Falcons. Boo, boo.
We'll make for a lot of fun banter this football season. Well, let's talk about. We mentioned the word food desert. I want to make sure that everyone with us understands that's actually a term that is defined by the USDA. It is a concept that is plaguing America. To Burnell's points, This is the United States of America. We are among the most prosperous countries in the world, and we are among the most food secure nations in the world. And frankly, we give more food relief than any other country in the world. But yet, right here on our own homeland, we have food deserts through coast to coast. And the USDA defines a food desert as an urban area without access to affordable food in a 5-mile radius. So, Keisha, Burnell, I would love for you both to explain how the evolution, so surviving Katrina and the magnificent way that changed. I mean, the profound way that changed New Orleans and disproportionately affected the lower Ninth Ward. I'd love for you to explain a little bit on the evolution of how it went from, I know Burnell, in previous interviews, you have talked about how you lost, you went from dozens of neighbors to 3. The people who, and then there's this cycle because of the food desert reality. The cycle is people might want to come back to the lower Ninth Ward where their roots, their heritage, and their culture is at, but the community lacks the services. So, Burnell, if you don't mind, I'd love for you to explain that to our guests today.
The Lower Ninth Ward, that's a great question too, by the way. The Lower Ninth Ward was a thriving community. Katrina wiped everything away. Today, we have 3 neighbors. That's still today. That's it. Some people lost loved ones during Katrina and they never came back. Some people wanted to come back, but they can't afford to come back. And unfortunately, there's another group of people that had insurance money and they were victim of contractor fraud. So
Ooh,
everybody
yeah.
have their own ugly story. Um, some people just don't want to come back because they're hurt. Because let me give you an example. I'm just pulling up back to the store. I'm gonna share something with everyone.
Okay.
This building here, I don't know if you can see this building or not.
Yeah.
That building over there, I knew the family members that was there. Unfortunately, they didn't make it because they was unable to make a hole in the roof, and some people end up drowning. Um, the people that was here in our building, they were able to get out. I'm gonna show you a picture when I get inside the store. Matter of fact, I'm about to walk into the store now.
Show us the window,
And
Burnell.
this is the famous window that I was telling you about. This is where everybody used to get their groceries from. This little bitty window right here. And the line used to
Wow.
be wrapped around the block. Let me go into the store, but this is the famous window. Now, believe it or not, this used to be a 2-story building, but we didn't have enough money to put the second floor up. Hey, darling, what's going on? How's everything? Come on in.
The neighborhood legend, right, Keisha? The mayor of the lower Ninth Ward.
This is what the building used to look like.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like I said, they had families that was living upstairs. The water got this high, so it wiped everything out. So we did what we could. And this is still the only place where you can get, fruits, vegetables, bread. We have a little bit of everything here. Lettuce, tomatoes, everything. We sell everything here in this one little bitty store. So when Katrina hit, sir, the truck is open. When Katrina hit, it took everything away. Hold on, I'm sorry, I'm going in the back. Sorry for the darkness. This is the window I was telling you about. When I tell you we utilize our entire life savings on this here, give you another small detail though a lot of people don't know. We didn't have enough money for the shelves. So I went to Home Depot, I bought the wood, and I had to hand build our own shelves. This bench, I spent many nights sleeping on this bench. And the reason for that, we didn't have enough money for the electric. So I pulled out my phone, I went on YouTube and had to wire the building myself. But I still had to hire a licensed electrician to file the job. Well, I had like 2 wires that was done incorrectly. He fixed those 2 wires. We came in here and we partied. You'd have thought it was my birthday, Mardi Gras, and Christmas because we finally had electric. But
it was hard, and it still is hard. A lot of people don't want to come back because why would you want to come back to the lower ninth ward when you have a city where you have a store and you have all these shit things, and then they just don't want to come back, but some do. But at the end of the day, this is home for us. This is home, so that's why we came back. But it's so many people that's hurting, that they're hurting, and we see it daily. We see it daily. We don't sell any alcohol here, so when someone comes into the store, they're coming for food.
Burnell, did you make the choice from the beginning that you did not want to serve alcohol, to sell alcohol?
At the very beginning, we can make a lot more money, but I don't want to do that. The Lower Neighborhood is a food desert. We need food here. You should not have to catch three city buses to go and get a loaf of bread or a gallon of milk. This wasn't about the money. This is about helping the community. Because if it was about the money, I could have did like everyone else and went to Bourbon Street, went to the French Quarters, and we would have made a ton of money. But we was needed right here in the Lower Neighborhood. So that's why we did it here.
Keisha, that brings me back to how you started your day today and how you're anticipating, some familiar faces and a community that's counting on you for lunch here soon. Um, how does the community, if you were to say, describe to our folks, what does the Lower Ninth Ward Market mean to your neighborhood?
I think it means basically a good place to hang out, stress reliever, dance because we have loud music, a place to get anything from food to diapers to personal needs, or just a friendly smile.
Your mantra and your commitment to your community during COVID-19. It was, if you need food, you can get it here, and we'll settle up when you can settle up.
Right.
Almost like an honor system of sorts. So, can you describe? I know that you're on the cash register today. Describe to folks what that meant and how that worked. How did the community even learn about it, and how many people took advantage of it?
Well, first we started throughout the neighborhood because, I mean, these are our neighbors, this is our community. So to actually be able to provide for them whether they had or didn't have was basically, like he said, a service for us. Because, I mean, there should be no one without. And whether some did come back and pay it off, others did not. But, I mean, like I said, it's a service to our community. So we were proud to do it, whether we had it or not.
Burnell, have folks made good on their honor system commitments to you all?
Some have not. Who was that? This yours? I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Take care of your community. You're good.
What happened was we had it's like some customers come in and they did not have the money.
Yeah.
We started a journal. Some came and we write down the customer's name and how much they owe and what they have. And some came and honored it, like when the stimulus checks came,
Right.
Unemployment, and unfortunately some didn't. How that got started, I'm not going to say the lady's name, but it's a grandmother. She has 4 kids, and she's an excellent customer. She comes in all the time. And when she tried to swipe her debit card, it didn't go through.
Right.
Here in New Orleans, it's a tourist city. All our money is made from, like restaurant, hospitality, and stuff like that. So when COVID happened, it shut everything down. So she immediately started crying. She bawled. So I came from behind the register and I gave her a hug. And I told her, look, when you get your money, come back. And it started happening again and again and again. So some did come and honor it, some didn't. But, we sleep good at night because we know the ones that we did help, it feels good.
Yeah.
Knowing that we helped.
I can't say enough how impressed I am with your commitment. I think that, speaking of the COVID-19 pandemic, when communities across the nation shut down, and that even includes our most prosperous communities, the one institution that stayed open was our grocery stores, and of course, obviously, healthcare institutions as well. But with our grocery stores, that was really what helped everyone across America realize, like, this is more than a food retailer. This is a community institution. This is a place where we come together, we see our neighbors, we get the things that we need for our loved ones. And really, something that I also believe is food is an equalizer. It doesn't matter what culture you're from, all families, we need it. We celebrate life with it. it's a necessity for life. And so I just can't thank both of you enough for what you do. I know that we're coming in on that lunch crowd rush, so I don't want to take any more of your time today, but we have to do a proper closing here. Keisha, it's been a joy to speak with both you and Burnell. I'm wholeheartedly, when you and I first reached out and you thought we were just wanting to get Burnell on the show, I was like, no, we want you too. I know what it means to run a family business. I know what it means to be an entrepreneur. I couldn't do this without the support of my husband. So I want to thank you for being with us today and sharing, all of your passion and talents. But before we close out, I want to make sure that you get the opportunity for any final remarks, maybe some words of inspiration, something that keeps you going on days when it's, when it might not be the best day.
Well, that's pretty easy for me. I can show you what keeps me inspirational. Batman. And knowing that our community is good.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Amen to that. And Burnell, any closing remarks?
What I would like for people to remember the most is value everything. Don't take anything for granted. If you have a home, a grocery store, neighbors, value it and appreciate it, because having to start all over is extremely hard. Um, some days is it seems like it's a nightmare, and then other days is it's great because I see that our work is helping others. Don't take nothing for granted. Value, appreciate everything. And if you ever get a chance to come down to New Orleans, come and visit us. Come and visit us because it's just Keisha and I. It's been like this since 2005. If you wanna help out any kind of way, let me give you my phone number. My number is 504-319-5886. And I also want to tell you one more thing. Thank you for doing what you're doing because we would not be talking and spreading the word if it wasn't for what you're doing. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Burnell. It's my honor. So with that, folks, it's another great episode of the Produce Moms podcast. I can't thank you all enough for being here. Burnell and Keisha, thank you for being our guests today.
Thank you for having us.
And don't forget to subscribe to the Produce Moms podcast on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, and any preferred podcast platform. Check out the Produce Moms on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. Special thanks to everyone involved with the Produce Moms podcast, my amazing team. Stay tuned till next time.